Welcome to the Be the CEO of Your Life live show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Yvonne of Amazing Self Coaching, and I help driven business owners and executives to get their time back and to grow their business to that next level. I do that by helping you focus on what matters most so you can ditch everything else and you get to free up some time to actually enjoy your life. In this show, I bring with you personal experiences from my coaching, as well as amazing guests. And I already started smiling because I'm very excited. Today, here with me is Ian. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Yvonne. Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
No, it's my absolute pleasure. Ian, for those of you who don't know you, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. So I have been in the health and wellness field for over 20 years. I was a personal trainer and a health coach. Most of that time, I had a small studio here in Portland, Oregon, in the United States for several years. And I've also been teaching my approach to health and wellness coaching to nutrition students here at a local college where we turn out master's degrees in nutrition. I also work privately with nutritionists, naturopaths, and other wellness professionals to up level their practice by incorporating my, how would we call it, my branded approach to working with clients with food, which is called food story coaching, where I work with clients' relationships with food, not just what they're eating, but how they feel about what they're eating. And then, of course, I have a few clients that I work directly with doing food story coaching. So that's the short answer.
Okay, great. And that's what we're going to talk about today, right? What is your food story and how can you change it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, food story sounds great, but what does it entail?
Well, the short and funny answer is it's everything.
Okay.
But to be more specific, think of your food story as your relationship with food.
Mm-hmm.
I often use food story and relationship with food interchangeably.
Okay.
But really, the deep food story is what's driving our individual everyday behaviors around food. It's what tells us this is good food, this is bad food. I should eat this, I shouldn't eat that. I do have time to prep, I don't have time to prep. I like vegetables, I don't like vegetables. Chocolate is good for me, chocolate is not good for me. You name it, every thought, every feeling, every belief system, every decision-making process that we go through when it comes to food is driven by this deep food story that creates this relationship with food every day.
Right. Okay. So I get that you name it's everything. And I think we all have a lot of stories around food.
Yeah.
How did you get to talk about a food story? There must be a story behind it.
The story behind it, yes, there most certainly is. I started personal training and I was doing that for a little while. And I have to admit a deep, dark secret. Prior to that, I was a weight loss consultant at Jenny Craig International, helping clients with weight loss. What I realized while I was doing my work at Jenny Craig was helping clients stick to the program and eat the Jenny Craig food, which is what the company wanted, was actually doing a disservice to the clients. And what I found was I was kind of just coaching them on the side about lifestyle and decision-making and stressors and the complexities of life and how come they were having such a hard time. And the system that Jenny Craig has, which was to use their food, just wasn't fitting into my clients' lives. So I was doing health coaching, even though what I should have been doing was coaching to the program. So when I left Jenny Craig, it was because I realized I can't push the food when what these people really need is this intimate, deep, multifaceted coaching. So when I started doing personal training, I got to do a program that allowed me to run a weight loss program and involve supplementation and coaching. And it didn't take very long before I realized that there was much more complexity going on in terms of people's choices around food than around exercise. They would come and work out, but the food part was much more complex. And they would say one of two things to me. They would say, Ian, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. But then they wouldn't. Or they
Sorry.
I know. I know. Uh,
Right. I stopped taking a sip. I'll wait till you're
that's
done.
okay. Yeah, I don't want to have you blowing water out of your nose. Ian, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Then I don't. Or, hey, Ian, I know exactly what I should be doing around food, but I don't do it. Help make me do it. And I did that for a while, and I realized there's something else going on here. At the time, my wife was going through a PhD program, and she was graduating, and or maybe she wasn't, but whatever. At the time, I remember talking with a friend of hers who had been in her program, and we were chatting, and he goes, "Oh, well, yeah, you're talking about people's story, their food story." And I went, "That's what it is." Because he was a Jungian. My wife is a Jungian mythologist. So it's all about story. It's all about meaning making. So when I went to get my graduate degree, I was studying what is it about people that makes them say these things but not do it. And as I dove deeper and deeper into psychology and into health and wellness and into sociology, anthropology, uh, social sciences, I was picking apart American culture, and I realized, oh, right. This isn't about what people know. It isn't about what they want. It isn't about desire. It isn't about motivation. It's about this deep relationship that they have with food that is multifaceted, very complex, very deep and emotional, that's getting in their way. So their food story is more powerful than their desire and their motivation. And so that's why we have to start our work there.
So is then your food story also something subconscious that you might not be aware of?
Yes, most people's food story is running at an automatic level. They just operate, they just choose. They don't even realize that the reason that they're choosing these things is because they have a food story that started in their childhood, was reinforced by parents who had their own food story and food challenges, grew up in a certain location, in a certain time period, certain socioeconomic status, family status. Then they went to school with kids and had influence of their peers, and then high school, and then media, and then on and on and on until they arrive today, doing what they do without even realizing, oh, I do this for this myriad of reasons that go back all the way to my childhood and that involve my parents, my family, my cohort, my friends, media, society, culture at large. Oh, I'm not even really making choices that I want to make for myself. These are like automated, programmed in choices. And so helping clients even become aware that they have a food story is the first step of the process. Otherwise, they can't work to address it.
Understand. And how do you dig them out?
Well, I don't dig them out, in fact, right? We know as coaches that we facilitate the change.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do is I walk them through this process of acknowledging and becoming aware that they actually have a food story, and that it is their food story that is affecting why they do things the way they do. So that if they want to create a concrete change in how they eat or how they sleep or how many vegetables they consume or how much alcohol they consume, they have to understand that they have to address their story. So first they have to become aware of it. Once they become aware of it, they have to analyze. They got to look at it. They need to sift it, pick it apart, look at it, and identify and realize, oh, this is what's actually going on when I choose X versus Y food. This is what's going on when I don't go to the gym and I just go home. Then the hardest part for most people is this third step, which is acceptance. And because at least in the United States, I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, of the world, but the word acceptance in the United States has very negative connotations. It means suck it up, deal with it the way it is, suffer through, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's not this is what it is. I acknowledge what is happening.
Yeah.
And now what am I going to do about it? It's always very much this, well, I guess I'll accept it if I have to, but then how am I going to change? So the work around acceptance is it's an ongoing challenge. But when clients can accept, oh, this is my food story. Now I get it. Now I understand it. I see where it's coming from. I see how it's getting in my way. They can start to step into action to address the parts of the food story that don't serve them. And they can edit, they can rewrite, they can delete, and they can write new portions of their food story in a way that actually serves them and what they're trying to achieve.
And then most people who want to rewrite their food stories are most likely wanting to lose weight, right?
In the United States and in many Western and many developed countries, weight loss still is the primacy thing, still the most primary number one driving force behind people's decisions to change something about their relationship with food or relationship with fitness. Food story coaching tries very hard to meet people where they're at. And if a client says, I want to lose 30 pounds, this is the trajectory that I want to go on, we work very hard to honor them and say, okay, we will work with you and help you with what you think you want to do. Will you take this parallel journey with me, a food story that we've talked about and helped you identify that, yes, there are these other things going on that are keeping you from being successful?
Mm-hmm.
Will you take this parallel journey with me that will help you find the things and get the things that I think you really need long term?
Right.
And the client says, okay, I will go with you if we'll do both of these at the same time. And so what happens is the trajectory of where they're going because of food story arcs away from the original goal, which for most people is, I just want to lose weight, to I feel better in my body. I'm learning to like my body the way it is and not be so mean to myself. I'm willing to try new foods. I'm putting myself first. I'm less negative on myself. I'm more accepting of what's happening, et cetera, et cetera. So they may get to 15 or 20 pounds of weight loss and realize, you know what, it's fine. I feel better enough. My clothes fit better enough. I like the way I look better enough. I don't want to go down that road of craziness that it takes to lose the 10 pounds. I'd rather go where I'm going with this healthier and happier relationship with food that's getting me some of my weight loss goals, but it's actually getting me way more of the goals that I didn't even realize I wanted or that would serve me better.
Right. So it's I like that, because I think there are also many stories about people who lose the weight that they want to, yet then still don't feel okay in their body, and then struggle again when people. So it's like when you were when you had some extra pounds and you shedded them, then all of a sudden sometimes your environment reacts differently as well, which instead of giving that positive feeling of, hey, I'm being seen now that I'm more skinny, actually a lot of times makes you doubt yourself even more, because why wasn't I good enough when I had those extra pounds? Is it all about the way I look? But there's so much more than me just being skinny, or not even, but and I find it fascinating. So I think, if I listen to you correctly, that kind of disappointment is also tackled with the food story help.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Weight loss is undergoing a philosophical shift here in my world, where for a long time, weight loss was a given. It was seen as a positive thing. Why wouldn't you do it? There's a lot of push against weight loss for weight loss sake in my field.
Yeah.
Which is, trying to get people to be more body positive and weight neutral and these types of things. So if a client, though, wants to lose weight, I don't want to tell the client they're wrong to want to lose weight. I want to be respectful of their lived experience, which says, I don't feel good in my body. I don't like the way I look. I hurt. My clothes don't fit. I'm not happy. Okay, let's work on this. And what I use as a term, as a phrase with them is, they want thinnerness. They want to be thinner than they are. They don't necessarily want to be thin.
Right.
Most of my clients have let go of this idea that they're going to get to their weight that they were when they were 18 or 20, or before they had children, or when they were a college athlete. They get that they're never going to be thin or look like a supermodel or look like the actresses on TV. They respect and understand that that is an unrealistic expectation. But they certainly want to be thinner than they are. So this thinnerness becomes what they're driving after. And many of them say, but I also want to be healthy, and I want to eat better, and I want to have more energy. And there are lots of other goals that they want. So part of what Food Story helps them to do, and again, it's all during the journey. We don't just tell them this day one, because they're not ready to hear it.
I was going to say, that's not good.
Yeah, they're not going to hear it. But along the journey, what we help them realize is very much to use your example. Oh, wait a minute. I'm feeling better about myself just by eating better, by moving more, by noticing my negative self-talk, by paying attention to how I feel in my body. I feel better about the way I look. But other people feel just as much the same way as they ever did about me, and they still judge me for how I look. Wait a minute. It's not fair to judge me only by how I look. I'm a great person. I get things done. I'm nice to other people. I'm a productive member of society. I, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm a good person. I deserve to be treated well. Oh, maybe my weight isn't as important to change as it is important to change some of these other things that I want to change. And that trajectory starts to shift. That's part of what allows that trajectory to shift is, no, 30 pounds lighter is the most important thing for me. Wait a minute, maybe 30 pounds loss isn't the most important thing to me. As we've talked over these weeks, Ian, I'm realizing these other things over here are equally important or maybe more important to me. So they start to lessen their attachment to it's all about being this weight or this shape or this size or this, this shape or size or dimensions. They can soften and let go of that piece by doing their food story work, by exploring their relationship with food and realizing that there's much more to it to them than what they've been told by society, by family, by experience, which is, no, you are your body. It's the most important thing. How it looks outside is the only thing that matters. They learn to reject that message, that externally driven, but also internally experienced message. They don't ever turn it off. I like to say that it's a dial. It's not a switch.
Yeah.
It's very hard to take it and just click off body image concerns and not worry about weight. But they can turn it down to a 2 most of the time, where it just kind of runs in the background and it really doesn't have a huge impact. And there may be times when it cranks up to a 6 or 7. Summer, going to the Bahamas, speaking at a public event, like certainly those things happen after the holidays. Sure, it might crank up, but it's not driving them totally crazy. And then they also have the ability to turn it back down.
Right. I like that. I like that a lot. So I work with a lot of people that don't have time.
Yeah.
And I think people who don't have a lot of time, hold on. Okay. People who don't have a lot of time, I can't say often, but some of them, I don't want to generalize, but some of them are more quick to grab comfort foods.
Oh, sure.
Because we work so hard, so I get a bonus.
Yes.
Quick food that doesn't need a lot of preparation time, or we can order.
Sure.
And we, because I used to be one, we may not have the most healthy eating habits, meaning I'm behind my desk and I'll just quickly grab a bite while working through. Oh, I skip lunch, I skip breakfast. Oh God, at 4 I'm starving. Give me a Snicker bar. Right. Oh, at 7 I'm not hungry anymore. But at 9, geez, I'm starving again. What's in the fridge? Oh, I just take chocolate. I'm just exaggerating.
Yeah.
And I'm not, because this is it could happen.
You're not far off. Your exaggerations are more accurate than I think many people realize. The popcorn and wine for dinner at 9 o'clock is because the whole day has been thrown off, and it's all because of stress and because of physiological responses of the body from working, so vehemently and not taking time to take breaks. So what we say when we're doing food story coaching with clients is that I don't have time, I'm too busy, those answers are true, but they're a myth in the sense that they're part of the story.
Right.
So we have to ask, what I tell my food story coaches is, you have to ask that question about time 3 different ways or 3 times.
Okay.
I don't have the time. Tell me what you mean about you don't have the time. Tell me more about how you don't have time. Well, I work all the time and I work for myself and I'm always at my desk and I can't get up and the whole day goes by and I don't eat. Okay. Tell me more about this lack of time and how your day is structured so that you run out of time. Well, it's all up to me. And if I don't do it, the business is going to fail and I can't trust my employees and I've got 17 things going on and I never say no to anything. And so I'm just always working. Okay, so what I'm actually hearing is that the time is being driven by this feeling of it's all up to me, it's all on my shoulders, all the pressure to succeed, don't trust your employees. Those sound like the issues that are driving all this extra work. Well, yeah, I mean, and then whoop, now we're down, right down the slide, and now we're into what's really going on, which is that they don't trust themselves to let go. They're afraid to let go. They have control issues. They're getting pressure from the board, from their spouse, from the ownership that they're not doing a good enough job and they're not making enough profits. They're freaked out about what they're seeing out in the market. There are lots of other things that are going on, many of which are driving a overdrive of their sympathetic nervous system. They're in fight or flight mode. They're in crisis mode. So is it any wonder that in that mode, that food would disappear? Well, there's physiological responses that suppresses their desire to eat. Emotionally, they're focused on productivity and they're in that fear mindset, that scarcity mindset of I got to get going, I got to get this stuff done. Food doesn't matter, bathroom doesn't matter, water doesn't matter, self-care just doesn't matter. That stuff's low priority. I'm in this crisis mode. I got to get this stuff done. But they're not even realizing how much of that mode they're in. These are typically not people who can't time manage. They can. And what I like to jokingly say is, did you make it to work on time today? Yes. Were you naked? What? You did come fully clothed. Well, yeah. Did you run out of gas on the way? No. Okay. Do you have kids? Yes. Did they get to school? Yeah. Okay. So you're capable of managing the details of life and time managing, but you're not doing that over here with food and health and wellness. So it's a prioritization issue based on other factors that are going on. Well, let's talk about that. Well, why don't you prioritize health and wellness and food? Oh, well, I was raised where food was just fuel. Food doesn't taste good. I didn't like my mom's cooking. I have these food aversions. I don't like a lot of foods. So, frankly, I would just as soon take a pill if I could. Well, you can see why that person would easily fall into the rabbit hole of not eating all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just a bit of a way to open up that concern over time. And of course, that's broad, but it gives you an idea of the types of things that we talk about.
I like it. It's like I hear my clients talk. So yeah.
What a shock. I'm so surprised.
I totally understand this. Okay, so I love this and it's a good thing. Let me see, Ian, because we had a question. Danny MD at AdSmart, I'm literally just started my food goal and weight goal Monday. Okay, great that you just started. Share with us if you have any queries for Ian, because he's here, he's happy to talk. Maybe that's a good moment, Ian, to share when people want to reach out to you.
Yeah.
They're actually, they can go to your website, www.ianrubin.com, or they can send you an email, which is basically ian@ianrubin.com, right?
Yeah, easy enough.
Okay, cool. And you made a special offer for people that are watching this, that if they want to have a consultation with you, just understand a bit more about what food stories can do for them, you're offering a 20 minutes free conversation to just talk about it and really get them to understand what's going on for them.
Yeah, 20 minutes conversation usually helps them decide, yep, this is actually something that I want to explore more.
Yeah.
And then, we can certainly proceed from there. Yeah.
Okay, great. And if you want to read about it, then definitely check out the website because it's okay.
Yeah, it's on the website.
So we're almost coming to the end of the show. I know it's time's flies. I know. So I just want to, is there anything that you haven't asked, haven't mentioned, that we need to shed some light on?
The thing that I'll say is this food story coaching works as an adjunct, as an additive to any other program that people are doing. Okay. You can be on any type of nutrition program. You can be on a medical nutrition program in the sense that you have a health condition. You can be exercising or not exercising, any age. It doesn't matter, because what we found is that whatever program people are trying to follow, whether it's as simple as I just want to be a little healthier, all the way to extreme programs that are for their health, that are critical to their health, regardless, it stimulates these thoughts and feelings about their relationship with food. It just does.
Yeah.
And everyone has the same challenges, broadly has the same challenges with implementation. They're like, I want to do this. I know I feel better when I do this. I'm not doing it, or I only do it for a little while, or I sort of half do it, but I don't do it enough to get the results, or I can do it for 6 weeks, but then I completely fall off and I don't do anything. And I'm completely on and I'm off. I'm on and I'm off. So regardless of what type of program, Food Story helps with all of the things that get in the way of being successful, because it addresses those internal hurdles and challenges and teaches strategies to work around them, so that no matter how simple or complicated the program is, our clients feel like they have more capacity and more ability to make slow but steady and real sustainable progress over time. So even someone who says, I don't have time to work on this stuff, if they've prioritized it and they said, but I really want to find a way to make time, we can help them find the time, reprioritize, shift around things. The person who says, but I just don't like to cook, we can always help them figure out a way to cook more that fits into their lifestyle. Because our program is not set on, well, you have to cook 6 times a day, or you have to eat raw food, or you have to eat all unprocessed food, or you must fast for so many days. We don't have any of those parameters. Your nutritionist might have put you on something like that. Your naturopathic doctor, your Western doctor might have told you these things. Your trainer might have told you these things. We're not into that. We're into helping our clients figure out what's working for them, or what would work for them. And often they don't know. So the exploration is, okay, well, let's see if we can uncover what would work for you and help you figure out a way to do it and be successful with it long term.
Right. But then the question for me arises immediately, if I'm not on some kind of diet or whatever plan, and I want to do a Food Story coaching, are you then, because, I was going to say, I might not know what's in the food. So are you then going to assist me with food plans, so at least I don't eat the wrong foods? Because
I understand. A lot of people are coming and saying, I don't even know where to start. I'm totally confused. I'm overwhelmed. I just want to be healthy. Is what I'm eating good for me or something? I don't know. So I personally, when I work with clients, which is very part-time because I'm doing other things, but when I do see clients, usually the clients that I see are people who are pretty aware of what their food needs are. They know they should be more vegetarian, or they know they should avoid sugar, or they know they need to eat 6 times a day, or they know they should avoid dairy, for example. But if they're really unsure of where to start, of course, I have colleagues that I work with who are also Food Story coaches who I've trained. I'm going to say in a very biased manner that I think these are the best types of nutritionists to work with, who can help with the science of nutrition, who can help with identifying food sensitivities, or what is your best dietary plan, and really help people figure out what to eat and what not to eat. But it's always coming from a position of, well, how does that fit into your relationship with food? Rather than them simply saying, well, I think you should get off of sugar. They say, well, I'm concerned about the level of sugar in your diet. Does that resonate with you? And the client says, oh gosh, yeah, I know I eat too much sugar. How do you feel about the idea that you eat too much sugar and that we might want to have you eat less? They go, oh boy, that's really intense. The whole idea of giving up chocolate and sugar is really hard for me. And our nutritionist would say, well, let's talk more about this relationship with sugar, rather than simply say, well, you're just going to have to give it up because it's the right thing for you. It's just giving you all kinds of inflammation. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to give up sugar. Like, we just don't do that, even if it might be the absolutely best right thing to do for your body. We have to have this dance, this give and take with the client about how these suggestions fit into their relationship with food.
I like that. I like it a lot. So even though there is a certain approach, a method that really has proven itself and works, I can still make it my own and really get personalized information that serves me, and it helps me to overcome any food hurdles that I've experienced or am experiencing.
You just described it perfectly. That's the only way we do things. Yep.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, we don't have protocols in the sense that we think of protocols and plans. Oh, you're going to be keto, you're going to be vegan, you're going to be 100% natural, you're going to be Whole30. Yeah, that's not important to us. We'll figure out what that looks like, but we only do it by doing it the way you described it.
Okay, I love that. Ian, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
My absolute pleasure. I will stop drinking water. when I interview you.
At least the first joke around, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It was my pleasure. I'll see you again, same time, same place tomorrow. You're amazing, and don't you forget about it. Bye.
Take care.